Welcome to A Talk with Armani.
I am your host, Armani Iman.
This is the show that takes you behind the scenes and in front of the screen of all different types of productions. Whether it's a feature film, a brand new TV show, or writing a book, I introduce you to those powerhouses that make those productions work. Make sure you stay tuned as I bring to you my first guest.
Welcome to A Talk with Armani. I am your host, Armani Iman. I have a very exciting show planned for you today. You're not going to want to miss not 1 minute of it. So make sure you stay right where you are. I'll be right back.
You're watching A Talk with Armani.
Welcome to A Talk with Armani. So I try to bring you each and every show guests that will inspire, encourage, and show you the different paths they took to get to where they are, as well as give you some hints as to what type of trials and tribulations they may have had to overcome on their journey. Sometimes a lot of my guests are in production, but then we have other guests that are part of our everyday life, whether it is a 5-star chef, a makeup artist, or politics. And while I don't really like to get into politics too much, I like to support people with a positive message. Please help me welcome my guest, Miss Sabrina Mckenzie. How are you?
How are you?
I am well.
Awesome.
So first of all, congratulations on so many different things. And the first thing I want to congratulate you on is the courage to actually throw your hat in the ring. I know that took a lot.
It did take a lot of courage, but you know, when we look at the climate of America, when we look at the climate of Georgia and the climate of our city with the educational system declining, crime increasing, violence increasing, taxes increasing.
Absolutely.
When you look at those disparities, kids being shot in school, it's supposed to be the safest place.
Right.
And when you're looking at those things and you see the type of leadership that may not be conducive to your ideologies, you're faced with two things: either you quit or you run.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
and we can't afford to quit. So we have to keep on running. We have to keep on moving.
Running.
So you are running for state senate. You are going up against the incumbent for 30 years. He's been in for 30 years?
Yeah, it's time for him to retire. It's time to go.
Well, maybe he thinks, does he not know he needs to retire? Like, some people don't realize they need to go.
And he's one of them. Okay. Well, actually, he's been unopposed for over 15 years.
Okay.
He is the minority Senate leader, which is the highest office in the state Senate.
Okay.
So he is very comfortable with power and not necessarily a community person, but leads from an Oval Office. And I've been working as an advocate and activist for about 12 years. So tried to work with him, tried to get some women's initiatives passed, some domestic violence initiatives passed, but he's been very absent and unengaged. So we're trying to replace the old guard system, and it's been very difficult, but the district has totally changed. It's now 77% African American.
Okay, absolutely.
The majority voter is African American women, and so, you know, we believe that you should have representation of people who can identify culturally, economically, spiritually, physically with the community that it represents.
And not just be okay with somebody that's just always been there. Because a lot of times that's what people will think, well, you know, he's always been in office. He's always been our representative, so we're just going to go with the flow. But when you want change, you have to make change happen.
Right.
And that's what you're trying to do. Because the platform that you're running on, those issues have been talked about, but they have not been addressed favorably for your district.
Absolutely. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Okay.
So change is necessary. If we're going to keep getting the same thing if we don't change. The other thing is change is consistent. It's going to happen whether we like it or not. You know, 10 years ago doesn't look like what, you know, we're seeing today. So it's imperative that we begin to look at some solutions and not just look at, you know, the decline of the environment and the social, cultural environment, but to say, what can we do? What can we do about it? And I am willing to submit that each of us have a social responsibility to do something about it.
Absolutely, and that's what we can do. We can get out and we can vote. In your district, you need to look at the candidates very, 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 very carefully. You know, I don't discuss politics on the show at all, but you know, sometimes there'll be something that comes about and you have to have a comment. You'll make a comment, we'll talk about it. We may talk about it with Dayara during our Let's Talk. And one of the things that we've talked about, you know, is our president. And like it or not, he is our president. I know a lot of people have said, oh, that's not my president, but he is our president. So, but he was a candidate that ran. And I think that we need to look more closely at the people that are running for our offices. And if you don't want them there, you need to vote to get them out. And if you want someone there, just posting it on social media is not going to get someone elected. You have to get out and vote.
You know, it's so important because a lot of times when people hear politics, they immediately shy away. I am not a professional politician. Several years ago, my sister was stabbed by her husband. She was murdered, stabbed 12 times while she was pregnant in front of her children.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that day changed my life forever.
Absolutely.
And that day I became an activist. That day I became an advocate. That day I got involved. And it's each of us have our own testimony. We have our own story.
Of course.
Because of that, I'm now the founder of the National Task Force Against Domestic Violence. I advocate on behalf of women. I introduced a bill in the House of Representatives this year called the Equal Rights Amendment. And basically this bill gives women equal pay for equal work. Did you know that women make 77 cents to every dollar of a man?
Wow.
77 cents. Now that's not black women, that's white women, because black women make 50 cents.
Okay.
Latino women make 40 cents. So here we are leading the single household families and having to take that 50 cents and raise the whole family.
That is amazing.
We
and
have
horrible.
to do something. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
It's unfathomable, especially when I went and bought my house. They didn't say you can pay 50% less because you're a woman.
Exactly.
When I went to buy my car, they didn't say you get a discount.
Absolutely.
You get a pass because you're a black woman.
When you pay your electric bill, they don't give you a discount for being a single black woman. They do not do it.
They don't.
So that is absolutely correct. And we're going to follow you. Tell us, how can we follow you?
Follow me at SabrinaMckenzie.org. Again, that's SabrinaMckenzie.org. I want to partner with you. I want to be a voice for you in the General Assembly, and I want to hear your concerns.
Absolutely. And you can always go to www.talkwitharmani.com, and you will see our candidate, Sabrina Mckenzie, there. You can click on it. You can see this interview again, as well as her social media information and a link to her website. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. We'll be right back.
You're watching A Talk with Armani.
Welcome back to A Talk with Armani. So, keeping up with giving you very, very good, inspirational, encouraging people who are out there every day trying to make things happen, making them happen, as well as accomplishing goals that might have started on a piece of paper. I bring to you my very next guest, Miss Barbie. Hi.
Hello, how are you? I'm great.
So, lashes.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So I know that is all the rage now. Now, I remember when you could just go to the drugstore and get a strip of lashes and just kind of put them on there and put them on there, and that was that. And then I just seen a commercial that have magnets, and then you can put them on there, and that's it. Like, what is going on? Like, it's so much going on. And now you have the Lash Beauty Salon, and it's like, okay, lashes?
Lashes, that's right. You know, lashes are something, it may be an afterthought for people, but if you think about it, it's really not, because the mascara industry has been booming for decades.
Always.
So it's something that kind of really makes our eyes pop. You know, they say brows are the window to the soul. Well, you know, people are looking at your eyes before they're looking at your brows.
Right.
And it really kind of polishes our look, polishes our face. So the lash extensions that we do are an alternative to mascara, certainly an alternative to strips or clusters.
Okay. Okay, so your technique is actually adding a lash to each lash.
Right.
So you're literally doing lash extensions.
Absolutely. So let me give you kind of a comparison. So, you know, mascara is obviously, you know, something that everyone knows, but, and then strips are $1. You kind of put some glue on and stick it on, and then you sweat it off, or it gets wet and it falls off. Then you got clusters, they're glued onto your skin. And all of those are not very natural looking.
Okay.
What we do is the most natural looking eyelash application. So basically we take an extension that looks like an eyelash except curled properly and the thickness that we want to achieve a look, and we put one on every single eyelash that you have. So if you have 150 natural lashes per eye, we put one extension on every single natural lash.
Now, how are you putting it on there? Is it a glue?
Right, there's a glue that's made specifically for lash extensions.
Okay.
And it's safe for most people.
Okay, how long have you been doing this?
For 5 years.
Wow, what made you decide to do it?
Well, I saw my best friend wearing the extensions, and I had seen her eyelashes before when she got married, and I knew that was a stark contrast there. And I said, are you using Latisse? Like, what's going on? And she told me, no, I'm wearing lash extensions, so that was my introduction to it.
Wow.
Long time
so
ago.
you saw someone and you looked at her, you saw your friend's lashes.
Right.
And said,
They're gorgeous.
You had those lashes last week.
Absolutely.
Like, we're not
That's
even
right.
going to play that game.
That's right, that's
Wow.
right.
Now, is it expensive?
Well, no. And see, I look at it this way. Some people charge basement prices. Some people charge the Ritz-Carlton prices. Mine is somewhere in between for everyone. It is an investment, just like if you pay to get your hair done, you pay to get your nails done, people pay to get their lashes done.
Wow. And how long does it last?
Well, you know, that's a trick question. So my answer to that is every 2 to 3 weeks, our clients come for a touch-up. Now, they still look pretty at that time, but you know, okay, this doesn't look as fresh as it did when I had a full set.
Okay.
So like when you get your nails done, they still look cute, you know, after a couple weeks, but you know, while they're growing out.
Right.
So I need to get them redone. It's the same concept.
Okay. And so you have a salon. Where's your salon?
The salon is located in Snellville, in Gwinnett County, Georgia. And I started off in a little room, you know, and we've grown tremendously. We're right there on Scenic Highway, on the Strip, so in the middle of all the madness. And we've been doing quite well.
Well, we want to follow you and see what kind of promotions you have going on, and maybe go and see what's happening, check your menu out, make an appointment. How can we get in contact with you?
Lash Fantasy on Instagram, on Twitter, on Google+. LashFantasy.com. We're on Lash Fantasy on Facebook.
And you can go to www.atalkwitharmani.com and you can click on the lovely Miss Barbie, and you can see this interview again, as well as get her social media information and find out where her location is, so you can make an appointment to get your lashes done. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Armani.
We'll be right back.
You're watching A Talk with Armani.
Welcome to A Talk with Armani. So every once in a while, I have a treat for you. Well, it's a treat for me, but we show you how you can make the exact same treat for you. So today, I have entrepreneur, chef extraordinaire, Chef Goldie. Hi.
Hi, Armani.
Thank you so much for coming on. So I see so many different things here. I mean, I see some cheese, some seasonings. You got some other stuff going on. What are you doing today?
Today we're making the traditional, dish with a twist. It's shrimp and crab with cheese grits.
Okay, now before we get into that, because I see some stuff and we got some water boiling already, what made you decide to start cooking?
I grew up in a loving family, and every summer I was sent to go visit my great-grandparents and grandparents, and you know, old school love to cook.
Yes.
And so it just kind of grew on me.
Really?
Part of my history.
Okay. So, and then you just decided, hey, I'm going to make this. Now, do you do this? You're Chef Goldie, so you cater.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you do this full time?
No.
Oh, you do it part time?
Yes.
Okay, so when you cater, are you going to people's houses and making their food for them?
I can go to your home. I can come to an establishment, an event, whatever you require. I can provide.
Okay, no problem. So we're having shrimp and crab with cheese grits.
Yes.
Okay, well, what do we have to do to get started? I'm ready.
Well, we have our water kind of boiling already.
Okay.
So we're going to incorporate some chicken broth.
Okay.
So that we can not have to use a lot of salt.
Okay. So now chicken broth, what do we have people who are vegetarians and they are like really strict as far as any type of animal, anything? What can we substitute with that?
Water.
Okay. All right, cool. So we don't necessarily need chicken broth. We can use water. No problem.
So that you see how it brought the simmer down a little bit.
Yes.
So I'll wait till the simmer comes back up a little bit, and then I incorporate my grits.
Okay.
So it's boiling it into the flavor.
Now, there's all different types of grits, right?
Right.
So which grits are you using? Are you using a 5-minute grit or?
These are the original grits.
Oh, hominy.
Well, not hominy grits,
Okay.
but they are
The regular slow cooking
not,
grits.
not
Okay.
quick grits at all.
Okay,
So I
cool.
just make sure I continue to stir.
Now, is there a reason why you don't use quick grits?
They cook too quick.
Okay, and you got too much stuff to do. We got too much goodness to go.
And so
All
you
right.
see how it's simmering back up, so I incorporate a little bit more.
Okay. Alrighty.
And I let it get back going a little bit. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add butter to my skillet over here.
Okay.
So that I can start to saute our meat.
Alrighty. Now, of course, again, substitutes for butter as far as
Olive oil.
So you can use olive oil. So if we are, health conscious or calorie counting and we don't want to use butter, we can use olive oil. Oh wow. Okay, that got brown quick. Alrighty. So
And we're gonna add our shrimp, which is right here.
Okay, so.
And you can get your shrimp. I usually get my shrimp from the farmer's market.
Okay.
Or if you don't feel like running to the farmer's market, Publix will do just fine.
Okay, no problem.
And if you don't want to do that, you've got some frozen shrimp in the freezer, that'll work too. It's your preference.
Now, is there a particular size shrimp you can use, or is it all your preference?
It's all your preference.
Okay.
All right. And then we let this saute a little bit. And then I have
Smells good.
my seasonings here.
Okay, now what kind of seasoning are you
This
using?
is black pepper.
Okay, well, everybody loves black pepper, right?
And everything is seasoned to taste, okay?
So there's no right or wrong way to season. You
A
can-
little garlic powder. I try to use more powders and salts so that it's not high in sodium.
Okay, great.
A little bit of seasoning salt.
Okay.
Because it is seafood, it's already got a little salt, natural salt too.
Absolutely.
And onion powder.
I'm getting hungry. Like, I'm sitting here looking at this getting hungry. Like, wow.
And then crushed red pepper flakes, just to give a little.
Now, is this your
little pop.
recipe? Like, did
It
you
is.
trial and error and you came up with it like, this is what I'm doing?
So I'm a fat, skinny girl.
Okay, okay.
And so the greedy in me takes over from now and time to time.
Okay.
And let's add our, can you help me out with the cream?
Okay.
You're just gonna slowly pour it in.
So we're gonna slowly pour some cream in.
Here we go.
That's enough?
Yep.
Okay.
You wanna try to keep your grits loose.
Oh, they are looking nice and creamy.
Once they get to a nice consistency, you wanna turn the heat down so that they don't burn.
Okay.
And just, wanna continue to stir. Keep an eye on them.
All right.
So then, keep an eye on your shrimp. Make sure your shrimp is cooking right.
So you're right now operating on 2 eyes. So that's literally what it takes. You gotta have
Right.
your one hand on the grits, your one hand on whatever protein.
Multitask.
Yeah, multitask. Okay.
And then once your shrimp is almost halfway done, then you can incorporate your crab meat.
Okay.
So what I'm doing right now is flipping the shrimp to just make sure it's evenly cooked on both sides.
And then she's gonna add crab meat. So while she's doing that, we're gonna let her continue to make this magical situation happen. And pay close attention because she's doing all kinds of different things. And we're gonna take a quick break. But when we come back, you think we'll have a finished product?
I do believe we will.
I'm excited. We'll be right back.
You're watching A Talk with Armani.
Welcome back to A Talk with Armani. So it is time for my Let's Talk section with Delyaira. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
So you saw that my guest Sabrina Mckenzie is running for state senate.
Yes.
And we were talking briefly about politics and how people need to get involved with politics. But then there are some people that need to stay out of politics. And I say that because recently they had that whole thing with Kanye and Trump and them going back and forth. And my thing is this just a publicity stunt? Like, are we taking something so serious and something that really needs to have our undivided attention? And is he using that as a springboard because he knows that he's getting ready to release a song, which, by the way, he released a snippet of, and wow. Okay, so I think that we're a lot of times in politics, it's being pulled apart and used for different things and different platforms. You know, we have, like I said, Miss Mckenzie, who's on here, and she's trying to affect change. She's trying to, you know, be a voice for people, to talk about what's going on with them. But then we have others that are using it for their own personal agenda. That's what my opinion is.
I mean, I definitely think that the Kanye thing is a marketing strategy that was genius. I don't necessarily not think it comes from a good place. In reality, what's wrong with him saying, I love my president, or I love Trump? Because him and Trump probably go way back before Trump was ever president. Do you know what I mean? Remember when they met a few months ago? I feel like this has all been like
But I think
building up.
But isn't this
to
the same
something.
guy that was on live television and said something about like F you Bush? Like, isn't he the same guy that did that?
Bush doesn't like black people.
Yeah, and then like, isn't he the
But
same
I don't
one?
think he feels that like Trump is racist. I think in his mind he doesn't feel like that, because I think that in real life they're really friends. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Trump doesn't know how to deliver anything. Like, he's not a politician. He's just a rich man who's always been privileged. So he speaks how he wants to speak. And I don't think that necessarily comes from race or religion. I think that a lot of that just comes from privilege, and you feel like you're elite to everybody else, and that's money.
Well, I think that the whole world would have to agree that that type of privilege could lead to very disastrous consequences, because he has no filter. And because of that, there's been things and there's been moves that made that I think that really weren't in the best interest of America. I think that I think that he has knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah,
and
like a
because
child.
he has knee-jerk, like a child, like a spoiled, rotten little child, you know, and that's the reason why we had the Twitter tantrums and all of that. But at the same time, I think politics is a very, very, very serious matter. It is not a laughing matter, and I mean, okay, you're going on record to say that you believe that they were always friends, and he just came out with this admission.
Because first of all, I think that he is trying to sell music.
Okay, so it was marketing.
Marketing, great marketing plan, by the way. But also, I think Kanye likes, which I understand because I'm like that as a human being. Like, I like playing devil's advocate to anybody, because I feel like I can understand anybody's perspective, and I think that's what he's trying to do.
I think there's a difference between playing devil's advocate and then looking like you're playing on the devil's team. Like, I think there's a difference for that, because here's the thing.
What?
If you were always a Trump supporter, then you should have always been a Trump supporter. I don't think he's ever come out before to say, hey, Trump's my dude.
But he's not saying that he agrees with this policy.
But he's saying, I really believe that this was a carefully orchestrated thing just to start a conversation, instead of him being, you know, oh, Kanye's losing his mind, this and the third. I think it was made to start a conversation about him, in connection with him dropping his record. I don't think that was really anything of support. And I was kind of shocked that Trump went on Twitter and responded back. I was shocked because,
Really?
Do you really think that was a sincere shout out? Like, did he think that?
Yeah, I think they're going golfing together. Like, I think they're complete friends. And I think when you have an interracial family, you kind of learn from each other, and you learn from things.
Wait. So you're telling me that because
Hold on, I'm not done.
Kanye is married in the Kardashian family,
because he is,
now he what? Appreciates what?
I think that he plays the devil advocate. He understands both perspectives, and I think that's what he's trying to do.
So seriously, without
in serious life, I think
so seriously,
in real
you're
life,
saying that you believe that he came from a point of sincerity when he was like, Trump's my dude.
Yeah, I think he likes him as a person.
Okay, I don't.
Also, I will say that you don't think he likes him?
I think that was an orchestrated thing strictly for his music.
Business?
I think it was strictly for that.
No, I think they're friends. I think they're I totally think they're friends. And not only that, what he said lyrically, like, it makes sense. Like, there's so many issues that are
Well,
not
here's the thing.
being
Regardless
talked
of
about.
getting off of Trump or Kanye or whoever, it doesn't even matter at this point. What matters is the fact that we have politics, which is very, very important. I think there's so many different things and issues that need to be going on, that need to be handled, that need to be taken care of. And I think we need to direct our attention to that instead of the sideshow that is going on with it. And I personally do not believe that that came from a place of sincerity. I personally don't. Really? I don't think they're friends. I know they're not going golfing. They're not. Friends. I don't believe it at all. You know what I mean? I think that this was a thing. So right now, nobody's talking about me. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about that. I only have to do this one thing, send this one tweet, and bingo bango, I'm on everybody's talk list. Everybody's tweeting me. The shade room is repeating what I'm saying.
Because T.I. and him came out with that song, and that song was like, it basically was playing devil's advocate. And, you know, he speaks in that song, like, he talks about, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be talking about selling crack and cocaine and shooting people up? Like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing?
Well, no, you're not supposed to
do. For the culture, you know what I'm saying?
No, we're not talking about coming out against...
but that's why everybody's so mad at him, because, like, they're saying that Trump is a racist. So for you to be friends and support a racist...
I don't think anybody thinks he's a racist. Like, I think people think that he's... I don't think anybody. I just think that he's a spoiled. I think he acts like a spoiled, rotten child. I don't think he's a racist. I just think he's the type of person that just says what he wants to say when he wants to say it. And those type of people have no filters and they have no picks. I don't think it has anything to do with anybody being black or white, a woman or male. He just don't like people, possibly. Like he's just not a people person. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like, oh, I don't like black people. He may not like Chinese people, Puerto Rican people. It doesn't matter. Yeah. He just doesn't like people. And there is a class of people like that. And they are equal opportunity haters.
Yeah, my dad's like
It's not just one particular class they don't like. Yeah. They don't like nobody. You know, and that's what I think.
But you said like it's turning into a little sideshow of our politics, but our president is a reality star, so
yeah. Okay. Well, we can't go into this anymore, but
I know you know we can go.
Thank you once again for coming in and chatting with me about this, and we'll be right back.
You're watching A Talk with Armani.
So, welcome back to A Talk with Armani, and we are back with Chef Goldie. We're getting ready to see exactly what 15 minutes, some good skill, and some great food can taste like. Come on.
A little love.
A little love, yes. Here we go. This is very, very good. I'm gonna get fat. I'm gonna get bigger. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, you can go to www.atalkwitharmani.com. You will see Chef Goldie's there. And you can click on her picture. You can see this interview again, as well as get to her social media, which is...
I'm on Instagram as Goldie's Homemade. So it's really simple. Goldie's Homemade.
And
Chef Goldie,
homemade
food.
Exactly. And if you want to book her for catering, or if you want to try to get this particular recipe, make sure, again, you go to www.atalkwitharmani.com, click on her, send her an email, leave a comment, do whatever you need to do, but get in contact because this is definitely fabulous. Until next time, stay safe. This is really, really good. Thank you.